What's up, everybody? It's Justin from Musky Vulture Baits. Just had a couple questions coming into me a lot recently, stuff that I've been getting messaged about. I kind of wanted to focus on, put a face to the baits, and just kind of introduce my two series of baits that I'm going to be primarily focusing on. I'm going to get away from taking custom orders so much. If you want to do a bulk order of, like, let's say 4 or more, something I'm going to probably be able to work on, but for right now I want to be focusing mostly on creating color patterns that I think will catch fish and put them out to you guys so I can get to you as quick as possible, and I can send these out and I'm not worrying about what's going where. I just put the bait on the box and we can get going with it. First one that we have is our Rhozetail Mini. This comes in at 9 inches in total length. It's 3 1/4 ounces. This comes with standard size 8 Colorados, big grub trailer, nice skirt on it, and I also have 2 6/0 hooks. The other hook is in the skirt. I know a lot of 8s normally come with just one hook in the back. Something that I've noticed before is that I've gotten 8s T-boned and I got no front hook. I do as much as I can to pull that hook and it's not going to do anything. That's a lot of space, so I figured I'd close that gap, considering those fish are trying to hit from the head most of the time anyways. So got a nice 6/0 hook up in front to make sure that the hookup percentage is as high as possible. Next one is our Rhozetail regular. This is one that I've made, I've made probably 3 to 4 Rhozetail regulars to a Rhozetail Mini, simply for me on my supply of tails. I'm going to be getting a lot more Rhozetail Mini tails and getting those in so that I can get those out, because I think both profiles are great and they both have their use. Me personally, I fish a lot of smaller waters, and I don't see as many 48 to 55 inch fish as some of the other guys in the Lake St. Clair or up in Green Bay or the St. Lawrence, in those type of areas where you get those giant fish. This, I feel like, is great for those situations. It kind of blends a lot of guys that like throwing rubber and blades together all at the same time. You got a big old tail, lots of thump, comes in at about 12 inches in total length without the tail stretched out. I've been throwing 8s on there because I like to be able to burn my blades and not have my wrist and my shoulder feel it at the end of the day. If you want me to throw on some 10s or something like that when you're ordering, let me know. I do try to put out some 10s here and there. I also do fluted Indianas on some of them to give more of a thump, but these ones, like I said, come in at 12 inches. I'm going to throw this up on my postal scale right now. I'll also give a little shout out to Smokey's Bait Shop for always treating me so nice. Let me tear this out and switch it to ounces. Put it up on the scale and we'll see what she comes in at. This one right here is about 4 1/4 ounces. Some of the other blades, like when we go to 10s, I know it gets a little bit heavier. Let's go into, I have one 10 tied up right now. This one's still available. This is our Flowage Pink with just an all black. Again, we got 2 6/0 hooks on there. We'll weigh this guy up and see what he comes in at. This one's 4 7/8 ounce. Obviously, when you're dealing with a little bit of a thicker, bigger blade, you're going to end up having a little weight added to everything. Again, these are going to be about 4 1/2 to 4 7/8, depending on what style, what size blades you end up getting on them. The Mini, what did we say it was? 3 1/4. Let me double check. Yeah, about 3 1/4 to 3 3/8 is going to be about what happens with the Minis. I tank tested these the other day and they look awesome in the water. One of my prototypes that I caught a fish on earlier this month, well, last month in the middle of the month, when I was in with my good buddy and pro staff field staffer Mike Malashevsky, I had a prototype together that really emulated this design and kind of put a fish in the bag first time I was out at a place, and I was really happy with the results, and that's what pushed me to getting into something that focused more on what I thought caught that fish, which was that big trailer in the back on top of the big thumb from the blades. The one that I got it on was all orange, and I actually had a stinger hook on the back, which Thank God for me, that fish stayed pinned and it ate like crazy, and I had a good hook in it. But as soon as I seen that hook placement, I kind of went, let's keep that in trouble. I don't want to make sure that that's ever going to be a problem for anybody else with that single hook. I'm thinking about downsizing this winter and making a couple Rhozetail micros with size 6 blades, and trying to put a single hook on the back, and so that you can kind of change out with, if you like Mogambo grubs, if you like a different type of trailer. I mean, that gives you room to kind of customize and deal with what you want to do and put on the back of it. I've always been a big fan of hybrid blades, and whether that be a hybrid as in you got an 8-9 combo, a 9-10 combo, or you got a little bit of rubber hanging on the back. I used to tip my treble hooks with them a lot, and I noticed after, let's say that you fished all day with it, next thing you know there's a tear in the side of the tail and you can't pull it down anymore. It just keeps floating back up, or it falls off, or it was just such a pain in the butt to deal with that I just decided, you know what, we need an inline spinner that has a big old grub through the whole body. The body of the bait runs through that. And nice thing about these is, let's say that you catch a fish and there's a bunch of holes through it. You end up going, well, what am I supposed to do with this now? It's through the whole main body of the bait. Well, nice thing about these is that you can actually pull these back, and inside of here, I don't know if you can see through it, but you won't see any shrink wrap inside of that one. Reason being, now that that is all torn up and you can't do it anymore, what you can end up putting back there, pull it out, take the split ring off, pull the hook, push a new grub through, and you can put that back on, and you can have customized to a different color, different grub. If you want to put a paddle tail and mess around with it, go for it. If you end up altering it and you end up catching on it, send me a photo of it. I would love to see a different design on it. And one of the greatest things about this sport is tweaking your baits. I know a lot of guys do a lot of different things to blades. I know some people that even bend the top of the shafts to try to kick them into the gear right off the bat if they're not spinning right. There's so many things you can do with a bucktail. If you do end up changing something and end up catching on it, or you like it better, let me know. Again, these are all things that in the future could be a part of a Rhozetail or a Rhozetail Mini. I just wanted to take a last second to thank every single person that's ordered, contacted us, had questions, comments on the photos, anything regarding the company. It's a new startup. We've been here for about a month, and we just generally appreciate any type of contact that you guys have with us, because if it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't be here doing this. And especially myself, I do appreciate it. I know Rose likes the shout out. Those baits were named after my dog. She's got a tail that looks just like it. So Rose and I both appreciate it. Again, if you haven't checked out Mike Malashewski's profile on Facebook, take a look at it. He's one of our field staff, our only field staff and pro staffer. Great friend, lifelong friend, and somebody I enjoy spending countless hours losing our minds and kind of making made up songs and doing whatever with on the water. But again, thank you. Thanks everybody for making this dream for myself become a reality, and super appreciate everybody's help.